We are in Acrisure Stadium, where a good old-fashioned AFC North rivalry is about to unfold between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The North currently ruled by the Baltimore Ravens, who have beaten Carolina today. The Bengals looking to keep pace, while the Steelers desperately need a win to stay within shouting distance. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pittsburgh. Greg Gumbel along with Adam Archuleta. A.J. Ross will be down on the sidelines with us as always. These teams met in week 1 of this season. The Steelers prevailed by 3 in overtime. Joe Burrow threw 4 interceptions that day. He's gotten a lot better since then.
Well, it's a different football team, and it's a much different Burrow than it was in that game. Now the Bengals are 5-4. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, and Burrow is starting to heat up. He's completing 70% of his passes, and since that 4 interception game in week 1, Greg, he has taken care of the football, only 2 since.
They are up against a Steeler defense that got a little stronger last week with returning personnel and gets even stronger today.
Well, they are healthy for the first time since that game 1. Greg, T.J. Watt, his presence immediately felt last week against the Saints, and they get back Minkah Fitzpatrick. You better believe the home crowd is going to be fired up when this defense hits the field.
The weather today, it's frosty. Let's put it that way. Temperature is 29 degrees, and the temperatures will probably dip from here. Pittsburgh Steelers have won the toss. They have deferred, which means the Bengals will get their hands on the football first. You have to say this about the Steeler fans. They are hardy and raring to go. So are we. Of the 40. Down to A.J. Ross. Hello, A.J.
Greg, this is a divisional do-or-die game for both of these teams, looking to string together some wins during this final stretch of the season, especially the Bengals, who are 0-3 in the AFC North this year. Zach Taylor told me, when you come from the AFC North and you make the playoffs, it means you're battle-tested and you really earned it. Meanwhile, the Steelers and Mike Tomlin are approaching this matchup like it is a playoff game, with Tomlin telling me this one will likely come down to the line of scrimmage and whoever wins special teams. And if it's anything like week 1, you want to get your popcorn ready, guys.
Thanks, A.J. J. Watt. And he has given just a terrific mental boost, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, you have a small sample size, but you can see it, not just in the stats. The stats, they certainly jump off the screen, but when you just turn on the tape, just his effect on the entire defense in that defensive front. Now you get Cameron Hayward to stay inside. You got Highsmith on the other side, and it just instantly makes this one of the top defensive front fours in the National Football League.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by LL Bean. Be an outsider. Allstate, reminding you that football is mayhem. And by Google Pixel 7.
A beautiful evening here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 8:54 to play in the first. It makes for a pretty good field position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we mentioned, this team met in week number 1 in a game that was back and forth. You better believe it. It was a missed extra point that sent the game to overtime. And in overtime, Chris Boswell finally hit the game winner. But not there. How about this one? And the Steelers came away with an opening day 23-20 win over the Bengals. I want to remind you, CBS Tonight, critics agree the new hit show East New York is great network TV, starring Amanda Warren, Jimmy Smits, and Richard Kind. Catch a new East New York tonight after The Equalizer on CBS. And Devin Bush brought him down. Well, these Bengals started 5-4 this year, third in the AFC North last season, and finished 10-7, going to the Super Bowl, of course. They come into this game 5-4.
Well, they got hot, and the defense, Burrow started to really play at a high level. The defense really started to come through.
Enjoying JB and Phil Simms.
Nice way to cap a 10-play, 75-yard drive. Yeah, it is on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott finds his way into the end zone, makes Dallas up 10-3 over Minnesota in the first quarter. Back to Greg, Adam, and AJ.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda, the power of dreams, and by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It is dusk here in Pittsburgh, and the Bengals lead the Steelers by a score of 10-3. Boy, it is a given these days. If Joe Burrow is on the field, he's going to throw a touchdown pass. 17 straight games with at least one passing touchdown. 39 yards. You see there what the Bengals can do when they're leading after the first quarter. And terrible towels are out as usual in Pittsburgh. As you look at first quarter numbers to expand a little bit. Well, first let's look at this 3rd and 7. Najee Harris in the backfield. It'll be second down. There's offensive coordinator Matt Canada. Been around for a while. His offense not performing well. Trey Hendrickson is down on the field for Freiermuth. Let's go down to AJ.
Well, Greg and Arch, you have been talking about Kenny Pickett's growth, and Tomlin mentioned more or less the same in our meeting, saying he doesn't even view him as a rookie because of the way Arch was mentioning his IQ and what he's able to, potentially execute. They're trying to balance, not put too much on him, but also, you notice he has 2 gloves on. That's nothing new, Greg, although you keep talking about the weather. He has worn 2 gloves since his college days at Pitt. He is built for this weather. He's used to it, and he does change the gloves depending on how cold it is.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Willow, streaming November 30th on Disney+. The all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer. And by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
That's the Clemente Bridge. Hop, skip, and a jump from the stadium here. 10-10. Wilson Mixon. And Mixon just short of the 35-yard line as we go down to AJ again.
Well, Greg, and speaking with T. Higgins about Jamar Chase not being able to play, T really stood by. He plays how he plays no matter what. He's not trying to do anything more or less. He's just playing his game. And he gave a lot of credit to his receivers coach, Troy Walters, saying since he's been there before, he's been a player. He's really helped him with watching film, his route running, all of the above have just elevated his game for this Bengals team, guys.
Welcome back, everyone. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow's parents looking on and smooching and watching their son approach 10,000 yards passing for his career. 99-99. Hey, I remind you, Thursday, 12:30 Eastern Time here on CBS, the Bills take on the Lions in the 83rd annual Thanksgiving Day Classic. Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter B.B. Rexha will headline the Thanksgiving halftime show presented by Verizon. That is coming up Thursday here on CBS. The Steelers just haven't been able to throw the deep ball for a touchdown. Take a look and look at the names on that list. The Staten Island Stapletons back in '32, along with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah, that was just only a few years after the forward pass was invented. The Cincinnati Reds, Greg, little fun fact, only 38 points scored the entire season. In case you were wondering.
You got to get more production than that.
Yes.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Old Navy and by Swiffer. Stop cleaning, start Swiffering.
Boy, talk about pretty as a picture, huh? Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. And there it is. Time winds down on a very entertaining first half here at Acrisure Stadium. And there is your halftime score for the first time tonight. The Steelers in the lead. It's 20-17. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and this word. Back at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers will get the second half kickoff, 20-17. Let's take a look at the first half highlight presented by State Farm. This could be a pretty popular slogan here in Pittsburgh. Pickett to Pickens. Kenny Pickett to George Pickens on the receiving end. It's the Steelers by 3 at halftime. Greg Gumbel back with Adam Archuleta. A lot of offensive fireworks here. Nice balance between the two teams.
Yeah, I would say, and to me it really starts with both quarterbacks, because when I look at Cincinnati, Joe Burrow was almost perfect in that first half. He threw an interception, but that was off of a tip ball. Levi Wallace with a beautiful diving pick, before halftime. And I really like what I've seen from Kenny Pickett. 14 of 19, 141 yards. But more importantly, I've seen him hang in the pocket to make some big throws. That touchdown to Pickens was excellent. I've also seen him, when he goes to take off, keeping his eyes open downfield, spotting his tight end, making some plays. And so to me, this is the best first half that I've seen him play since he's taken over as the starter here in Pittsburgh.
So the way this game has gone, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems to me this game may depend on what defense steps up between now and the end of the game.
Well, if you look at both teams, Greg, takeaways and giveaways has really been one of the key stories to their season. And so to me, whoever wins the turnover battle is going to play huge in this game, just as it has the entire season.
As we mentioned, Steelers about to do that thing that coaches like to do, defer on the opening kick, score at the end of the first half, and then get the ball back to start the second half. And let's go down to AJ.
Greg, with the Steelers tacking on points on back-to-back drives to end the half, Bengals coach Zach Taylor says he needs to see better communication from his defense. Offensively, he likes the rhythm they're in, but they can't give up points, or rather yards, on penalties. Meanwhile, the Steelers had one of their best halves of the season, averaging 5 yards per rush, and Tomlin said Kenny Pickett and the rest of them supported one another, and they were focused on complementary football. He noted Levi Wallace's interception before the half. He said, just like Arch, they have to win this turnover battle going forward, guys.
Hey, AJ, I'm not wrong about this. I know I'm getting a lot of grief for it. It's cold down there, right?
Oh, it is very cold.
Okay.
I'm very much concentrating on my enunciation. My lips are freezing.
Just checking. Pictures in a night that it was 29 degrees at kickoff, and I am told it is now down to 19. And there's no reason to think it's going to go back up tonight.
I know what you're doing right now, Greg. You're trying to get me to give you kudos.
No, I'm not.
You're fishing, big guy. I don't know if I'm going to take the bait.
Burrow on that 17-yarder. Fewest games to 10,000 career passing yards. He's getting there, isn't he? Pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice list right there to be on. And
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Hotels.com. Find your perfect somewhere. Uber One. Join to save on rides on Eats. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Little local high school football playoff action. Westinghouse defeated Central Clarion 44-8 to advance to the state quarterfinals. 5-yard line, and we go down to AJ.
Well, Greg, I can tell you Tomlin was hype here on the sideline after his defense was able to get the Bengals off of the field pretty quickly with that Joe Burrow sack. And he was also really entertaining when he was talking about TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith together. He used the analogy that TJ is Batman, Alex Highsmith is Robin, and TJ's so good that Alex became Defensive Player of the Week last week, guys.
Yeah, he did make that point quite clearly. Thank you, AJ.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. More 5G bars in more places. And by Progressive. The right call to protect your home and car.
Pretty sight as night has fallen here in Pittsburgh. We're back to Acrisure Stadium, where the Bengals have grabbed the lead 24-20 with 7:02 to play here in the third quarter. Overwhelmed by the pursuit. Huge helping of college football upcoming on Thanksgiving weekend, beginning Friday at noon with Utah State facing Boise State, followed by SEC action between Arkansas and Missouri. Then Saturday at 3:30, the SEC on CBS has the next chapter of the Iron Bowl. Auburn meets 8th-ranked Alabama. It all begins with the drive to Atlanta and college football today, all coming up this week on CBS. Zach Gentry, the intended receiver. Let's go back to week 1.
So anytime, Greg, a defensive lineman or somebody playing at the line can intercept a ball, either rushing the passer on a blitz, I mean, that is so good. But then look at this play. He's got Collins all over him. He's fallen to the inside, puts his hands up, and is able to pick off that ball. That right there is just incredible.
And those are wide receiver hands being shown.
Like, I couldn't catch an interception when I was all by myself 10 yards away.
To about the 42. This is a little bit of what's happened today. It's been an interesting game, to say the least, Arch.
Well, it sure has. It started off with Pirine taking a screen 29 yards, and then Najee Harris, he's able to take it for a touchdown. Pirine one more time, check down out of the backfield for their second touchdown, and then Pickett responds. Beautiful pass on the corner route.
And then there's the pick by T.J. Watt. Not a whole lot of time to read the trajectory of that ball. Rounded it.
Well, they tried to set up a screen, and then he just abandons the screen, throws it into the ground rather than make a mistake.
You see the numbers. Joe Burrow, 251 yards throwing, 3 touchdowns in the 2 picks. Pickett, 154 in the TD. And we'll see where they mark him down. Earlier today, the Philadelphia Eagles trailed for a large part of this game before bouncing back to beat the Colts. And the New England Patriots, talk about a late punt return, TD. How about with just 5 seconds to play to beat the Jets? The Detroit Lions rising up to beat the New York Giants. That's 3 straight on the win column for Detroit. And the Buffalo Bills knocked off the Cleveland Browns in Detroit. That game moved out of Buffalo, which saw some inclement weather. Yard line. And the AFC playoff picture now looking like this. Division leaders Chiefs, Dolphins, Titans, and Ravens. Buffalo, New England, and New York Jets holding down wild card spots as time winds down here in the 3rd quarter. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: Cincinnati 27 and Pittsburgh 23. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. Don't go away. This is a good one. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Along with our producer, Jonathan Siegel, and our director, Mark Grant, Greg Gumbel, Adam Archuleta, A.J. Ross, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew, we go to the 4th quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the network America relies on, Amazon, and by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, the cold weather didn't clamp down on a glorious night here in Pittsburgh last night. The 61st anniversary celebration, the official kickoff of the holiday season in this fine city. Total yards, update time. Let's get you back to New York City. JB, Phil Simms.
Hey, Greg, the shellacking continues in Minnesota. Brett Maher from 50 yards out makes it to make the score 40-3. That is 4 for 4 on field goal attempts for the Dallas Cowboys and Brett Maher today. Back to Gregory, Adam, and A.J. Ross.
Catch inside the 10-yard line, and that's where the Bengals will start. A reminder for you, Thursday at 12:30. The NFL on CBS serves up a Thanksgiving football feast when Josh Allen and the Bills take on the Detroit Lions, starting with an appetizer of the NFL today. Then next Sunday, the full slate features the Bengals and Titans, as well as Texans and Dolphins. Beginning once again at noon Eastern with the NFL today. It's a big holiday weekend for the NFL on CBS. Arch, have you noticed those Detroit Lions aren't quite the pushovers?
I mean, you know, three strong games. You got to like the way they're playing. They could have easily went in the tank the rest of the season.
The yard line before he is brought down. A reminder for you, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and the hottest item at this year's World Cup, followed by new episodes of The Equalizer, East New York, and NCIS Los Angeles. That's tonight on CBS. So
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds you to drink responsibly. And by Lowe's. Let's tackle home together this year.
So Burrow takes a knee. And take a look at the playoff picture with a victory going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, Kansas City, Miami, Tennessee, Baltimore leading the way as division leaders. Buffalo, New England, and Cincinnati holding down wild card spots as we speak.
How about Miami, right? You think there's no way that anybody other than the Bills in the AFC East, but Miami is starting to get hot.
So Mike Tomlin back to the drawing board with his young quarterback. Zach Taylor with his young quarterback taking a step forward and trying to keep pace with division leading Baltimore. As we hit 000, our final score. Cincinnati a winner by a score of 37-30. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Equalizer, East New York, and NCIS Los Angeles. Our thanks to our terrific crew in some frigid weather here in Pittsburgh. For Adam Archuleta, AJ Ross, Gene Steratore, I'm Greg Gumbel saying so long from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Good night, everyone.